Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is way past 1 o'clock here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It's time for another live stream. So sorry about being so late today, but I was picking up more packages. And sorry, I think I blew you guys out there on this audio as well. But I was going out there to pick up some packages. It has been really icy and snowy here lately, so everything took a lot longer than I was expected. But I'm here and I'm safe, and I've got a lot of stuff that I want to show you guys today. This camera is all messed up. Okay. Oh boy, guys, everything is all off kilter today. It's driving me nuts. But, all right, time to settle it. It is Monday, January 19th, 2026. And I guess we're back to the regular life. I feel overwhelmed and behind on everything. Way more work to do than I have time to do it. So I guess everything's back into the normal swing of things where off a holiday and into the new year. Today it is 3 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. It's been hovering between that and 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about negative 16 or 17 degrees Celsius for those of you who use the Celsius scale. And it's cold. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get ready for my desert race, Black Canyon 100K. Yeah, and it's going to be really hard because I am very much cold weather adapted. So that's going to be something to think about. All right, before we get any further into it today, I'm going to take a deep breath. Man, you know what though? There was a guy, I just mentioned how icy it was today, but there was a guy driving through the neighborhood today, like super crazy slow and in a very large all-wheel drive vehicle. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what are you doing here? Anyway, that was just me getting a little bit of road rage. I'm not very good as a driver, I gotta tell you. But today we're gonna unbox a lot of packages. I thought I had maybe one thing to pick up, but I have a lot, and I have some packages from last time that I didn't get to. So we got a lot to get to today. Hopefully none of it's under embargo. Well, we'll see. Before we get any further, though, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. If you're listening to this while you are running, oh my goodness, hopefully you're staying warm out there. It is so cold. And everyone else watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 drive time radio show for runners. And I hope you are snuggled underneath a really cozy blanket. Maybe you got a dog. Maybe the dog is snuggling on your legs, keeping you extra warm. That's what I wish for you today on this cold day. All right. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm so flustered. It's not a great way to start the week. All right. Who we got here in the chat? Andrew in Indianapolis says it's another cold day in Indy. 16F this morning with 17 mile per hour winds. Snow goggles came out again. It seemed like a low-K winter hack. Here's the thing that I have with the snow goggles. My mouth gets much colder than my eyes do. And so I usually like to keep my mouth covered with a neck gaiter or a balaclava. And if I also wear anything, ski goggles, sunglasses, anything to also cover my eyes, all the moisture coming out from my breathing ends up fogging up the glasses. And so that's how I usually start, with like sunglasses and a full face coverage. But then things get so frosty that I have to take off the sunglasses. And if I have to pick between the one, whether it's cover nose and mouth or cover eyes, I have to cover nose and mouth. That's how it's always gone for me. I've seen people run in mouth covering and ski goggles or sunglasses before. I just don't know how you're doing it. Doesn't work for me. Matt Byer says, once I recover from my injuries from slipping on the ice, the treadmill will be my best friend during questionable conditions. I mean, conditions it depends on the road. All the main roads are fine. It's just some of like these neighborhood streets that are a little bit slushy. But like yesterday on my run, it was 13 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. It was kind of a little windy though. It feels like it was sub-zero. But the roads were fine. It's just that it's cold out, JC says the treadmill is always a good backup plan. So yesterday I was thinking I wanted to do 17 miles yesterday. And so I was thinking I would do 10 miles, 9 or 10 miles outside and then finish on the treadmill. But after I did 2 laps, which was 10 miles, I was like, I'm just going to do another lap, or maybe I'll do another mile or so, just add on however much I could. And then like maybe I'll have 4 miles to do on the treadmill later. But then I just ended up doing the whole thing. I did the whole 17 miles outside yesterday. It took me 2 hours and 40 minutes, 2 hours and 42 minutes. That was a long time in those temps. I'm glad I don't have as long a run today. I've got about 9 or 10 that I'd like to run today. I think I can do it, but I'm going to go right after this. Just because the day's been crazy and I haven't had a chance to get my running yet today. Getting to Run says, hearing all this 3-degree talk makes me feel better with my 30-degree run later. I mean, that sounds balmy. That sounds almost summery to me right now. And Chris Mendez says, thank God I live in Las Vegas. Yeah. Yeah. So, Pegasus says, frozen beard is my favorite. I do like frozen beard, but like, my favorite is frozen eyelashes. I'm like, that's how you know it was cold. That's my favorite. All right. Sean Reagan says, yo, what's going on? How do you decide when to run/rest when ill, especially in the winter? Yeah, I mean, I would think of it as, does it make me feel better or worse to run? Now, sometimes like if I'm not feeling well, I might do a little bit of extra coughing, which does not feel great after the run, but overall my body feels better. That's how we do it. But I think when it's cold out, I usually err on the side of resting a little bit more than I need to, rather than resting a little bit less than I need to. Just because for me, once I catch a cold in the winter, it kind of lingers for a long time. And I really don't like that. And so I tried to like get the cold kicked as fast as possible and then get back to it. I'm not always really great at following that advice, but that's my general plan, All right, Mike Lukens says, I had a big course PR, 2:14 on Big Cypress 15-mile loop this morning. 40 degrees Fahrenheit was nice. All right, good job, Mike. That sounds very pleasant, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Where's Big Cypress? You'll have to let us know. And Martha says, back in Colorado, I'd run on that Down Valley Park loop as long as I could stand it, but if it was freezing and windy, I'd go home and finish on the treadmill. Yeah, that makes sense. And Louis says, good thing I live in Tijuana. It never goes over 100. Yeah. All right. JC says, do you have a glove recommendations for those temperatures? So for me, I used to do double gloves. I used to do a lot of double gloves. I would do like my thin, late fall, early winter glove, and then put that inside a mitten. But lately I've been doing okay enough with just my Craft cycling mittens. They make a regular mitten, but I haven't seen it lately, but they make a cycling one where the index finger is open so you can shift gears on your bike. And then the rest of the fingers are a mitten. It looks like a little lobster claw. I use that and then just hand warmers. Now, sometimes my hands do get cold in there and I got to tuck my hand in around the hand warmer, but the hand warmer makes it bearable. I use hand warmers every day pretty much and these kinds, and once we get into real winter. So like that's the real key for me is hand warmers. Otherwise I'm wearing like multiple layers of gloves and even then it just doesn't work. So that the mittens and hand warmer has been the best option. Yeah, Soy Run says, I'm a big fan of the Craft gloves with the mitten option. See, I can't do the mitten option ones. The mitten option ones I don't like because the cover over the fingertips is never thick enough for me. And then when you want to send the mitten part back, it tucks into the back of the hand in a funny way that makes it feel goofy to me. I just bought another pair of a different brand of mitten convertibles, and I'm like, they look pretty, but I don't know if I'm gonna really like these, Senior Grandmaster Runner Dan says, I wear my ski gloves in extreme cold. I do have snowboard mittens as well, and they have like a really long arm shield that comes almost up to like my elbow, so you get your hands real deep in there. That's a very thick one, and they're more like waterproof, so it's like when it's gross out, like those are better ones to have on for sure. Mike Lugan says that it's in the middle of I-75. What was this run called? It was called the Big Cypress 15-mile loop. Big Cypress is on I-75 between Fort Lauderdale and Naples. Mile 63 rest stop, northeast side. Okay. Bear scat all over the place? Now you're talking about an adventure racing now. By the way, speaking of adventure racing, I've been reading the book Running Man, or listening to it on audiobook lately, for all my long trail runs and stuff that I've been doing. And it's about a runner named Charlie Engle, who, or it's a memoir of Charlie Engle, who apparently was this very accomplished ultra runner. I don't know if I haven't finished the book. I'm on like the last chapter. But like, I had no idea who this person was. I think he's just like a little bit before my time of paying attention to ultra marathons. But anyway, I feel he's a little older. And so his entry point to ultra marathons was that, like, I guess when like the Amazing Race, is that what it was kind of like Amazing Race, but like when adventure racing was a big deal, when people would like, you'd go as a team, you'd hike a whole bunch, you'd have to ride horses a whole bunch, and then bicycling section, and then kayaking section, like adventure racing was like a big deal in like the early 2000s. Remember that? But he was big into that. I don't know. I feel like it's ripe for a comeback, maybe. Seems like it's a very expensive hobby, though. All right. Frank says that Steve has a good question up above. So, shoot question from Steve says, I trained in the Vomero Plus and recovery run in the Glycerin Max 1. Would I like Mega Blast or Deviate 4 more for long run up tempo? Interesting. I would probably go with it depends on what the mix of long run versus up tempo is and how fast the up tempo is. If it's like with like just speedy long run shoes, maybe like not quite marathon effort, but not quite easy effort, then I would lean more towards Mega Blast. But if you're also going to do like some threshold work, even some VO2 max work, something really fast, then I would go for the Deviate 4 because it has that plate. So that's kind of how I would pick. It depends on the mixture. But if you're going to use it for a lot of long runs, I'd say go with the Mega Blast. Louis said, did you guys hear Stevie76 and Alio's Houston Half video? We talked about this in the last one, Louis. Ali had posted like something on Instagram that had music over the top of it. But like it was someone running alongside Alio, and I was like, it was at a certain part of the Houston Half Marathon that I was like, I think that's where Stevie normally goes. And with the way that like Ali did like a double take at who the filmer was, the camera person was, I was like, I bet you that's Stevie76. We confirmed it last time that it was. So, and I said last time that I could hear the laughing. He has a distinctive laugh. I'm like, I could hear the laughing even without it in the audio. And Vanessa said that Stevie was in Andrew's video too. Oh, nice. I haven't seen that one. I saw it come up, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. That's awesome. I'll have to check them both out. All right. There was one thing that I wanted to write. Oh, okay. Look at. Not right. Look at. Johnny Dodgen wrote, enjoyed your annual YouTube performance review. Appreciate how open and honest you are in summary. Interesting how it'll inform 2026 projects. Yeah. So I guess it's clickbaity because it's about how much I make in a year as a YouTuber. And it's not clickbait in the sense that I tell you in the first 30 seconds, but at least I think it's 30 seconds. I hope it's 30 seconds. My goal was to make that as quick as possible. But I use it to like go over analytics and kind of do a little year in recap kind of, but also like kind of explain my relationship to different types of content, and what my thoughts on it were. And so this time I actually got there's a lot of spreadsheet action in this year's because I was like, the normal analytics that you get on YouTube are not that interesting. they're not that helpful. And so I was able to export a lot of data, all my 2025 data, and then from there I was able to slice it by product category, which is like shoe review or reviews, races, covering races, ones that like covering the pros, runners weekend, and training series, and also one last category of editorial. So that was fun for me to look at because I've never really looked at my data quite like that before. And so I think that helps me make a bunch of decisions of stuff that I was like, I have a feeling that I need to do more of this, and I have a feeling that I need to do less of that. And the numbers kind of just help me with my intuitions. So that was good. All right. Should we get to some of these packages? Because I have so many. Let's see what we got here. I think some of them might be stuff that I bought myself. But the first one, I did check on these to make sure. You know what? I got to check on this other one first to make sure. This first package is from Brooks. So I can't remember a time when Brooks has had an embargo. But this one is a new kind of shoe. All right. It looks like this came out a long time ago. Wait, what is this? Huh. Wait a minute. I'm not sure if I can show you this, but it's a Brooks shoe. I feel like I'll be fine. This first one I know I can show you because I've seen Eric Red Dad Bod TV. He already made a video about it, so I'm pretty sure I can show you this one. This is the Glycerin 23. It looks a lot like the Glycerin 22. Oh, I think I put the Glycerin 22 away. But yeah, feels like there's a lot more rubber on the outsole this year. Brooks has switched to starting to put like the name of the shoe in the outsole as well, which is interesting. I guess if you make footprints in soft dirt or in snow, then people would see it. But I mean, using DNA tuned again, I feel like it looks exactly the same as the last one. Smells like just kind of has that like conference hall smell. But let's see, what's the color? The description is white. White/phantom/green gecko. So summer 26 for this one. So I don't think I'll be running in it anytime soon. Yeah. Yeah, Scott calls it the 22+1. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it seems very similar. Maybe the upper is a little softer. I don't know. There's some detailing happening in this collar over here, which I think is new, but pretty much it looks similar. It is using this thing though, which I think is both awesome and also grosses me out. You know, all of you guys who get grossed out by looking at the pores of a strawberry, it's kind of got that thing going on where they've cut into the white layer of the DNA tuned, and you could see through to the yellow layer inside. Oh, it's kind of it's making my heart rate rise a little bit. But yeah, that's that one. It's gotten to the point. I have a pretty big. I've been getting through my backlog of shoes, so that's been good. And it's gotten to the point where I had to map out. Like I had to make sure that on each day I knew exactly what shoe I was running in, so that way I could get through the shoes quickly. So I've mapped out till like end of February, like what I'm running in, which is kind of weird. Steve Blackadar says they changed the drop to 8 millimeters in the 23. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Let me see. Do I have a tech sheet for this one already? I don't know if I do. I don't normally ask for tech sheets like right away when they send me stuff. No, I don't have the tech sheet yet. I only have the tech sheet for 22 and 21, which those were both 10 millimeter drop shoes. So if this is going to 8, that is pretty big news. Thanks. All right. And Martha must have it because she reminds me of what this word is every time. Trypophobia. Yeah. It's kind of gross. All right. No, guys, I don't know. This might be under embargo. I don't think this is under embargo. I feel like I've seen this before. But this is a sample of the Cascadia Elite 116 Spring 2026 PR sample. Has anyone made a video about this already? I think the reviews that I've seen it are for 2025. But I never got to run in it in 2025. And this looks amazing, guys. It's got a like a mid top, which is my favorite kind of way to finish a trail shoe. Nice stretchy, very stretchy knit. A little bit of padding on this tongue, but not a padded tongue. Vibram Mega Grip Elite. Mega Grip Elite. What? Next, we're gonna have Mega Grip Elite Pro. But this is amazing. Light base to it with the Mega Grip lugs. These look a little short though. They do not look like 5 millimeter lugs. Matrix upper, so you got that nice, very durable material up top. What's the foam on this? DNA gold. What? Is this? Does anyone know if this is plated? All right. Johnny Dodgen says, okay, yeah. Lots of reviews out there. Good. So then I'm not breaking an embargo. Nice. Okay. Senior Grandmaster Runner Dan says it looks pretty comfortable. It does. It smells very plasticky. It smells like you know that container of bouncy balls, not the dense ones, but the big balls that they'll have at like a Walmart or a Target. Those rubber balls, the ones that are filled mostly with air. That's what it smells like. It's not a little bit of citrusy smell to it. That artificial citrusy smell. I don't know why these products have that. I think it has to do with some of the chemical compounds. Chemically they're similar, even though plastics are not the same as citrus fruit. But I think that's where that comes from, if I'm understanding it correctly. There's a lot of padding back here too. I wonder if this is all DNA gold or if it's just partial DNA gold. It feels like it could be all DNA gold in here. But this plate, it feels like there's definitely a plate in here. Can't squeeze the Charmin too much. But yeah, this looks nice. I like this one. Andrew in Indianapolis, I'm curious why trail shoes are white. They are meant to get muddy. Yeah, people got mad or were shocked when I ran in the Adidas Agravic Ultra Trail 2. It was a really muddy day here in Crystal Lake. It had been like in the 40s for a couple of days and everything thawed. And I got super muddy in those. They cleaned off pretty nice. I mean, they're not white clean, but like I grew up, whenever I bought and got like my parents got me new pair of shoes, I went out and got them scuffed up immediately. It was weird. Like the whole trend, like remember there was that whole trend where people would not take the tags off of clothes and stuff, especially like hats. You won't take the stickers off. That always freaked me out because growing up, it was lame to have new stuff. You know what I mean? Because it showed that like you bought it recently and you may be a bandwagon follower, you know? And so it was like, no, you wanted stuff to be scuffed up and you wanted it to look lived in. You know, this was before like pre-ripped jeans was like a big thing. Although like torn jeans was a thing in the 80s, but like from a fashion perspective, I don't know. Yeah, okay. But that looks really nice. Someone asked about what the Black Canyon shoe is going to be. I'm doing that one with On. On is sponsoring that my adventure here, and so I'll be fully kitted on head to toe. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Cloud Ultra Pro or the Cloud Ultra. I'm leaning towards the Cloud Ultra because I'm going to be out there for like 16 hours, guys. So you know, I don't need like a fast shoe. I need a comfy shoe. You know. Yeah, getting to run said you need to have a nice patina. That's what I'm saying. You couldn't show up to school in like brand new squeaky whites. I would have gotten made fun of. I don't know. Maybe it was different. Maybe it wasn't that way everywhere. All right. Johnny says 2026 is the year of the integrated booty gaiter on race day ultra trail shoes. I mean, we had it in the Tecton X3, but before then we had it on the Peg Trail, right? I mean, the Peg Trail had it on, what was it, version 3 that had it, which was really nice. I recall, I mean, my favorite mid top shoe with like the integrated gaiter was the Under Armour Hover CGR mid. It was a winter running shoe that wasn't water resistant. It was kind of crazy, but it had a nice, really nice mid top that I absolutely loved. Matt Running says, in my opinion, the Cloud Ultra Pro is way more comfortable than any other trail shoe right now. Okay, I think I reached out to On, and I think they're going to send me that one soon. Hopefully we'll get it in time for the trail run this weekend. We'll see. Matt Running says the Cloud Ultra Regular is firmer. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing for me, just because like firm and soft. What I like in terms of firm and soft on the roads is different than what I like in terms of firm and soft on the trail. It just depends on the trail and I guess the speed, you know? So we'll see. Mike Lucan says, maybe switch shoes halfway. Foam will be dead on all those hard rocks. I'm thinking about it. I might see like which one fits tighter or which one. I mean, because if you think about Black Canyon, my understanding of the course is like the first half is a lot of downhill. The second half is a lot of punchy climbs. And so which shoe would I want to run downhill in? Which shoe would I want to do a lot of power hiking in? I think that I might decide that way, Steve wants to know if Des is going to lend the shoe. Is she running Black Canyon? Oh man, there's a lot of people running Black Canyon. All right. I don't know what she's wearing. Guys, this is a pair of shoes that I bought myself. And you know what? It's super annoying that the packing slip, they put the packing slip sticker on the box because this is a casual shoe. And I'm not a sneaker reseller, but I feel like the box is part of the experience. Like they went to the extent of like, this is not a regular Asics box, So that's kind of annoying that they did that. But I saw this the other day. I saw it like teased a couple times. But I thought this one looked really nice and I wanted to pick it up. I should have brought my other Asics shoes that I bought the other day down here as well to compare. But this is, I forget the name of it. It's the Gel NYC 2.0 SSHS. So this one is a New York inspired Asics gel shoe. And the detailing on this is really nice. Lots of different layers, lots of different overlays, materials. There is a bit of a truss stick plate in here. I don't know. Yeah, a little bit of a plastic stability system in here. It looks like there's gel in here as well. It's very, very heavy. But it's FF Blast Plus as far as the midsole foam. The rubber on here is really dense, though. So we'll see what it ends up feeling like. But I just thought that it actually looked really nice. I love the color work that's on this one. And this one is really nice. The last one, I bought a pair of gel terrains I showed you guys. That one looked nice online, but I guess it was my fault for not looking closer. But all the overlays on that shoe were just like painted on. And so on foot, it actually feels really cheap. This, I feel like, feels really nice. Feels like a higher quality fashion shoe, I guess. But I think like the look on this is really nice. So I'm excited to wear. I've been wearing the gel terrains around a lot here. Just in my day-to-day life, and it's been okay, but yeah, sorry, I got a text here. Let me turn focus mode on. Okay. But yeah, so that's that shoe. It smells. There's a hint of something very harsh chemical at the end of the inhale. In the beginning, it just smells has that conference room smell. But at the end, there's something in there that's like, it smells like a factory a little bit. But yeah, some nice materials, nice work on this one. this I could use. I like this one. It's heavy though. JC wants to know if it smells like a cab. It does not smell like a taxi. Maybe a very clean taxi. Maybe one that's just been detailed. But it definitely has there's some off-gassing happening. Not like crazy like a Saucony shoe, but there is some. Elijah wants to know, not sure if you know, but why does the new 1080 cost so much more in non-US countries? Ben Parks did a review and apparently it costs 170 pounds. In America, it only costs 170. I have no idea on that. For the longest time, I used to never discuss price in any of my reviews, unless it was wild. Like for Vaporflies, I'd be like, this shoe costs $250. But for now, I don't know why it does that. Global pricing is very confusing to me. Who knows if it's I don't know, a tariff situation? I'm not sure why it would cost 170 pounds. Yeah. I don't know. Actually don't know anything about the new 10. I mean, I've seen stuff, people making fun of the foam name and stuff like that, but I don't have it. New Balance is touch and go with whether they'll send me stuff. So, I'm not in a hurry. I have a backlog of shoes that I need to review, so I'm not in a hurry to get to the 1080. But if they end up not sending it, I'll probably either reach out to see if they will, or I will go out and just buy a pair, Frank Hillier says the retaliatory tariff seems plausible. It seems very plausible, but I don't think that the retaliatory tariffs would have started before Ben Parks would have filmed that video and then edited it and then posted it. So that's the one thing. I mean, even if he posted it today, I don't think that the NATO countries have announced retaliatory tariffs. So, but I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know. Yeah, and D0 Aperture says it's weird because Brooks shoes don't cost as much as the New Balance stuff does over there. Yeah, and I mean, the pricing is never a factor of like, well, let's just adjust for the currency, and maybe we'll hedge on some currency fluctuation potentialities. It's never like that. I think a lot of it is like, how much do we think people will be willing to pay? And I also think a lot of it comes down. Sometimes pricing is a matter of like, well, we can't, like, we're only going to be able to sell so many in this region, or we know we'll sell so many in this region, but we're not really concerned about spending a lot more in this region. So might as well sell what we can for the maximum price. I don't know. I'm not sure how it tends to work. Or maybe it's a deterrent. They don't want to sell it in the UK. I don't know. Which seems weird. Why would you not want to sell it in a region? But I don't know. Jason's Running says, I don't think it's tariffs because the SCLE version 4 was $260 here in the UK as well at launch. Strange New Balance pricing. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they think they could charge a premium, or maybe Brits are willing to pay a premium for New Balance stuff. I mean, they're the sponsor of the London Marathon and I think a lot of other racing. I feel like New Balance is trying to be a big player in the UK. So I don't know. What's also strange to me, another thing could be like, well, there's like differences in pricing laws and customs, as in like habits, not customs, as in customs and like border inspections and stuff, but like habits and laws in terms of pricing and like when a product can be discounted. I've seen in the EU, which I know is different than the UK. Having a hard time wrapping my head around that, but I get it. But in the EU, a lot of the online retailers will discount shoes almost right away, very, very quickly. And I know that annoys a lot of the big brands. And so maybe that's what it is. They're figuring everyone's going to discount this by 25%, like 2 weeks after it releases, so might as well just set the price higher to start. I don't know. All pure speculation for me. But Senior Grandmaster Runner Dan is correct, though. Shoe prices are out of control. Shoe prices are out of control. And maybe this is me just getting into that 45 to 54-year-old age demographic now. I mean, I've been there for a little bit, I guess. But, like, I remember when I first started doing this, and, like, shoes like the Pegasus were $120. People were like, shoes are so expensive. I'm like, I don't know, if $120 is pretty good price for a Pegasus. And now like daily trainers are like 140, kind of in the 150 range. Now I'm like, I don't know, guys. I think we need to slow down a little bit. So now I'm the old guy saying like these prices are too high. But yeah. So, Stephen Keller wants to know, in the YouTube income video, do you touch on this live stream channel now that you turned ads on? No, I didn't touch on that this time because this channel is a little separate. Maybe we'll go over it. We can go over it together next time if you guys want to. But I guess the real thing I should do is, well, I guess it'd be easy to kind of figure out what I'm making between live streams and then pre-recorded videos and stuff, because that's all that exists on this channel. So I don't know. Maybe we'll go over it next time, because I think we could do that. That's short. This live stream channel is so much smaller, so it's easier to go over quickly. Skyman22 says Solomon Glide 4 review. Let's see. Which one do I have? I have the Aero. Oh, I do have the Aero Glide 4. I had the Aero Glide 4 gravel, but I don't think I have the Aero Glide 4. So I can't give you a review on that. It looks like it's just an upper update. I don't think the midsole is changing very much. I could be wrong on that though. I'll have to wait until I actually get it. I don't know what this is. What's this one? Oh, this came fast. This is from On. I just sent that email out like 2 days ago, I feel like. Where did I put my knife? I don't know. Guys, it's such a mess in this studio right now. Oh no, this is not what I thought it was. This might be under embargo. Hold on. I'm not really familiar with this shoe. Let's see. Okay. I see it on Running Warehouse right now. Is this Oh, it says this item is coming soon. Available to order February 4th, 2026. I don't know. I'm not saying that Running Warehouse breaks embargoes, but Running Warehouse has very different rules compared to everyone else. And I think because they're a big retail partner, and so they always ask for special treatment, which they should. But it's on their website, full pictures, or at least one picture is up. So we're going to talk about this. No one emailed me saying that there's an embargo. Not that that means there's no embargo. But this is the On Cloud Runner 3. It has, well, it looks like regular Cloud Tech and Helion foam. It's got a big old heel clip in the back. And I can't tell if there's a speed board in here or not. But yeah, it kind of reminds me, this back part reminds me of the first Cloud Surfer. The shape of the Cloud Tech also kind of reminds me of the first Cloud Surfer, so maybe it'll be like the first Cloud. This foam does not feel like the first Cloud Surfer though, or Cloud Surfer 7 or whatever number you guys were on in the UK. But this foam feels really hard. Yeah. Chalky says Adidas got Ioana for reviewing a shoe he bought from Running Warehouse. I told you guys about that's so funny. I told you guys about the time that Thomas messaged me one time about reviewing, I think it was like a Vomero 14 or something like that. And he was like, dude, the embargo is not up yet. And I was like, I bought this shoe and it came in like a week ago. I got it from Running Warehouse. I've never mentioned them by name before, but I got it from Running Warehouse. Yeah, Martha says, did they solve the squeak problem by roughening up the insides of the holes? I don't know, because I never really had the squeak problem unless it was like wet, like unless I had just run through a large puddle. And no one complained about it in the same way they did for the first Cloud Surfer or the first Cloud Eclipse in any of those subsequent follow-up shoes. So I'm guessing that they did, but this one does not look like it has the roughed up edges. Maybe no, it does not look like it has roughed up edges. So it'll be interesting to see. I have a feeling that it's not going to be a concern because this shoe looks very firm. Yeah, this shoe is not squeezing at all. No, almost no smell. Either that or my nose has just gone numb at this point. Johnny says someone tried to sue On for this squeak. No, that's not true. Really? T-Ox, I don't know how to say that. T-Ox says, my Cloud Eclipse squeaks like crazy, but I heard they fixed it in the Surfer Max, but also ruined the foam. Yeah, I think that they did. That second part is true. But yeah, I mean, some people say that it squeaked like crazy. And I'm wondering if it's just, maybe I'm not squeezing the foam enough. You know, I don't know. Yeah. But we'll see on this one. Feels like it's going to be really firm, though. This might be a shoe. I don't know. This might be a shoe where I will bring it and another shoe for the first day, just in case I don't like it. All right. When I got this one from the UPS store, they gave it to me and they were like, we didn't do that. I'm like, no worries. It's mostly shoes that I get in this. This one, oh, I think you guys are going to be interested in this one. This one, I'm pretty sure is not under embargo. Because I saw Eric made another video about these already as well. And Eric is putting out so much content so fast. I mean, I guess he's in the thick of marathon training, so he's got plenty of miles to run. But this is from Skechers, guys. This is the... You know what? We thought we were never getting the Razor 4, and I think it's true. We're never going to get a Razor 4. This is the SKX Aero Razor. So we had Aero Burst, Aero Spark, and now Aero Razor. This is the follow-up to the Razor 3 Plus that everyone kind of loved for a little while now. The Razor was kind of... I don't think the Razor was the first, but it was the first widely adopted nitro foam shoe. Now this, oh my goodness, guys, this is very different. It's got an H-wing, which I read up about this shoe a little. I don't know if they sent me a press release or if I looked at a tech sheet. I can't remember what. But the H plate is not carbon fiber. It's like a plastic H plate. So it'll even less than the little it did in the first versions or the earlier versions. It still has Goodyear rubber on it. But this Hyper Burst Pro, it's a weird material. It feels, whereas like nitro foams can sometimes feel squeaky, right? This feels like almost like a fabric. It looks knit and it feels like there's a knit layer on the outside. I don't think that's just like an outer coating. It's a different kind of... Does anyone know what foam this is? I don't think I've ever seen a foam quite like this. It reminds me of kind of a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing from, like, I have some Anta shoes and I think a 361 race shoe, that the foams are like, and even to an extent the Craft Kype or Cheap Bay Pro, that one where the foams are very dense, so they're not soft but very bouncy and responsive. It's kind of what I'm getting from this guy right here. It's got a little bit of this like outside seam, which feels like it's a fake outside seam, like we saw in some of the Solomon shoes. But it's pretty clean. I think it's interesting that they didn't write the word speed really big on front of it. Would you guys have wanted them to write speed on it again? Yeah, Andrew in Ambulance says it kind of looks like something to come from Saucony. Could be. But Frank says the design looks livable. I think that it looks great. I also liked the initial... Do you remember they had like the white and like blue and black? That design motif? Remember they had that Skechers trail shoe as well? Like those were really sharp. I liked those designs a lot. And then Asics was like, we're going to focus on slip-in shoes for the next 7 years. But now they're back. What's interesting is that on the Skechers website, the Aero Burst is categorized in the slip-ins category of shoes. Yeah. Frank says, don't write speed on it. Thank you. Okay. Senior Grandmaster from Notre Dame says, they should have wrote fast. Or speedier, maybe. More speed. I don't know. This is interesting, though. What's going on with this? SKX? Is that the new... I mean, I guess the person to answer that question would be me. I'm going to ask what they mean by SKX. Is that the new version of Skechers Performance? Because these shoes say Skechers Running on them. They do not say Skechers Performance like those old Razor shoes did. Smells very rubbery. Smells like I'm the inside of a kitchen rubber glove. Like I took a deep breath of it. That's strong. What other shoe was I smelling? Maybe a little stronger than the Asics shoe that we had here, but similar. A little stronger. Yeah, there's a little bit of something in the heel cup here. But yeah, it does very much look like other shoes that already exist. Like the way that all this is designed. Does it look like an Endorphin Speed? Kind of. Kind of a lot. Yeah, I'd say that there's some similarities there. But I mean, I think a lot of shoes kind of have the same footprint, but this is a very, very close footprint to have. Like this is the Hyperion 3, for example. Similar-ish, but not as close. Here's like a Deviate Nitro 4. No Nitro, just Deviate 4. Nitro's not in the title anymore. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. The only thing is, I'm not running a lot of speedy stuff right now. So like, I'm trying to get through those Mizuno shoes, but I'm like, when am I gonna do the kind of work that you really need to do to test like the Mizuno Hyperwarp Pure, Elite, and Pro? Like I just don't know. It doesn't really go well with 100K training, I feel like. Yeah. All right. I got one more box here. What is this? What is this from? It's from Tennessee. Is this something that I ordered? This might be something that I ordered. I don't know. I did order a GPS dog collar for the dog because we've been talking about getting a... I don't think that's what this is. But we were talking about putting in fencing and stuff, but I really like the wildflowers that are behind our house, and I don't want to block my view of those. And so then we talked about getting like a black like metal fence, you know, so that I could still see it, but then you'd still see the fencing, you know? And our neighbor has like a solid white fence, so like it would be kind of weird to not have the same kind of fencing, I thought. So I bought a GPS dog collar, and it's supposed to be able to like map out your property and then do the same thing as like an invisible like electric fence or like the underground ones. So we'll see how that works. This is the most serious tape. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is the package from On. Oh, I think they sent me another vest. I told them that I already have the vest. I might need to return this to them. Because I already have that, and I don't think I have this hat. This is a hat that they've sent. Here's the Cloud Ultra Pro. I already ran in these over the weekend, but I suppose having another pair wouldn't be bad. Oh, these are the Pros. I haven't run in the Pros yet. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Cloud Ultra 3 is the one that I already have. Oh, guys, this mess. Oh, this one's pretty though. The one I have has a black sole on the bottom. I might keep this one. This is the Cloud Ultra 3, which I ran in over the weekend and I really enjoyed. Kind of like this one too. Very pretty. Smells like a basketball. And then this one is the one that I haven't tried yet. This is the Cloud Ultra Pro. Everything is ripping at the seams. From the glycerin midsoles to the upper on this shoe. Oh, these laces are like black and blue. And there's a little secret pop of blue. Blue, right? Is that blue? Blue on the inside of this one. But this upper is very breathable, which I think will be good in the desert. And then there is a speed board in here. You could see that blue plate, which we'll see how I get along. I mean, that'll be the big question is, can I get along with the speed board in this one? Helion HF on the top and then something really firm on the bottom. But I feel like for a trail shoe, it's good. Yeah. Parker Willett says, hot take, if you wouldn't shock a child, don't shock your dog. Hope the GPS fence just beeps or similar. It does a warning tone and then it vibrates. I don't know if it's an electric shock collar, but I will try it on myself and see if it works. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah. A mild smell on this one. It doesn't smell very strong, but I think my nose is gone nose blind. I can't smell anything now. Yeah, but I ran in a lot of snowy, icy conditions over the weekend, all the mud, and there was a race in that park last week, so it got really muddy. All those ruts and footprints and muddy spots froze over. So like all the terrain that's usually pretty smooth got very bumpy, which I felt like was actually pretty good prep for the rockiness of Black Canyon trails. So I felt like that was good. And I was only out there for like 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2.5 hours on Saturday. But I felt like that was good practice. But I'm thinking, I am very concerned about the heat because I've been all the Black Canyon videos that I watch, even though the race is in February, it's in Phoenix, and it'll be cold when the sun's down, but it'll be hot when the sun's up because it's a desert. And I've been seeing people running with like ice bandanas and stuff, and so like that I'm really concerned about, like my lack of heat acclimation, because right now, if I were to go out and run in 30 degrees Fahrenheit, I feel like that would feel warm to me. Because right now I'm used to running in like, feels like a single digit Fahrenheit, if not sub-zero. And so if I go from that to like 70 degrees during the day, I feel like I'm just going to wilt. Because I'm already really bad at heat acclimation. So summer running is already really tough. So I think today I'm going to go sit in the sauna at the YMCA, or there's a steam room, and then there's the steam room, and then there's the wood room. That I don't know if there's steam in there or not. I think they both have wood. I don't know. I think there's a dry heat one, and then there's a steamy one, a foggy one. So I probably should go sit in the not foggy one because that's what it's going to be like in the desert. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Scott says if you're gonna do the shock yourself, do it during the live stream. I'll try it during a live stream. I'll have to see if there's a way. Maybe there's a trainer mode in the app on the collar to do it that way. I'm not sure. Yeah, but if I could do it on the live stream, I'll do it on the live stream for you. Mike says that they're building a new YMCA in Fort Lauderdale, about 3 blocks away. You know what was weird to me the other day? So, like, YMCA, right? It's not like the fanciest, but the YMCA here in Crystal Lake is actually quite nice. There are 2 pools, a competition pool that they use for like swim team and meets and stuff, and then like the family pool that they use for like open swim and swimming lessons and stuff like that. And then they've got like a racquetball court, they've got a gym, they've got like studio spaces and stuff where they do, and there's like, I think there's a spin room in the basement somewhere. But it's pretty nice. And then there's a daycare there, and then there's a room with couches and like a giant fake fireplace. It puts out gas heat, but it's not like a wood fireplace, but it's a giant like multi-sided fireplace. So it's kind of nice there. But like I normally don't think about that when I think YMCA. Right? I feel like kind of bare bones. You know, it's a good value kind of place. But like last week when I was last week when I was taking my daughter to swim class, like there were some really expensive cars in the YMCA parking lot. Like I saw a Cybertruck. I'm like, something about Cybertruck and YMCA just doesn't go together. I don't know. One of those things don't belong. You know what I mean? So it was kind of weird. Senior Grandmaster Dan said, do they have an indoor track? Unfortunately, they don't. They have an indoor basketball court, and that is frequently used for a lot of pickleball. It's a really big indoor basketball court, but they probably could fit like taping it around, but it's not taped out. There isn't, and it wouldn't be a track surface, which I would love if they had that. But then I was like, yeah, I would love it, but I wouldn't go and do workouts there because that feels aggressive at the YMCA. But it would be nice. It'd be better than running on the treadmill. And they have a really nice treadmill room and weights and stuff. I don't know. Scott says sauna is the dry one. What's the other one called? What's the one that's foggy called? That's not called sauna? I have no idea. All right. Rafael Carvalho says, yo, running grandmas in June. First time. Any tips, Kavuzi? I would say, I mean, number one, my tip is always have fun. But like that race was so straightforward. I don't feel like there was anything that really required a lot of like, hey, watch out for this. There is one kind of like little hill towards the end of it before you get back into like Duluth, downtown. But it's not that big of a hill. And a nice, really even downhill grade. I'd say the one thing that I would say is, most races you're worried about running on tangents, but I think depending on how sunny it might be, you might be better off running the shade. So like if it's a really hot day, you might be able to, depending on which side of the street you're on, be able to run in the shadow of trees and stuff. Whereas the other side, which might be the tangent side, might be a little hotter. I would say go with shade versus, not that it gets super hot, but if it's a warm day, that might be the only thing. And run with a pack, that's what I would do. Adrian in Annapolis says, you know what? No greater feeling than walking into the YMCA with your Boston jacket so everyone knows what's up. That's pretty funny. Yeah. I don't think I would ever do that. But I guess if I needed to flex on somebody. All right, so sauna is the dry one, said Scott. And then Teo says steam room is the foggy one. Martha says steam. Okay, steam room. I like steam. I like it foggy. I don't want to make eye contact with people. Or I don't want the potential for eye contact with people. I want it steamy. I don't want to be able to see anybody. People like the sauna one though, huh? And does there a difference from a heat acclimation or a heat training perspective if I do one or the other? I think there's both there. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, today was a busy unboxing day. I have a mess to clean up, and I have a lot of shoes that I got to get tested. So thanks for everyone for hanging out. Thursday, I'm going to get my stuff together, and we are going to play a game. I'm thinking it's going to be copy that shoe. And so it's going to be a game of I'll take the marketing copy from a website of a shoe, take out all the marketing, like the brand name terms, like Flight Foam Blast Plus and stuff like that. And you're going to have to guess what the shoe. I think that's the game we're going to play. So that's the goal for Thursday. All right. Everyone else, until then, stay warm, stay upright, stay safe out there. Hit the treadmill if you can, if you need to. And I'll see you guys Thursday. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.